Hi, and welcome to this live reading from Stars in the City by Krysten Lindsay Hager. And this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1. Working with your ex-boyfriend is hard. Working with him when he's a famous heartbreaker on a TV show that you're also on is difficult. But working with him when he is supposed to be your love interest and you're expected to gaze adoringly at him during scenes is downright impossible. It doesn't help that Lance Cunningham was known for his smirk and could charm a snake. Speaking of snakes, my co-star and former friend, Haley Braden, also went out with him, and the dating timeline she shared in a recent interview has some overlap with my own. We had unofficially declared a truce over him, but to be honest, I think she said that only because he broke up with her. I was on my way to the TV studio, and the driver was playing a song about being dumped. It was by one of my favorite indie pop stars, Andrew Holiday. Andrew wrote heartbreaking love songs about unrequited love, yearning, and messy breakups. He just got what it was like to be awake at 2 a.m, sobbing about your broken heart while scrolling social media to see your ex with their new love interest. I wondered if Andrew was single. He sure seemed like the perfect guy, sensitive, thoughtful, artistic, not to mention he always supported charities and was adorable. I would have to search online to see if he was dating anyone later. Today was one of those days where the scene we were supposed to film was going to require me to act in love with the same guy who broke my heart off screen. Sighing, I pushed my script over onto the seat next to me. I couldn't concentrate on my lines to save my life. My acting coach said I should always print my scripts out so I could make notes in the margin. That way I could keep it close in case I was having issues with my motivation to become Chandler Ashton on set. Truth be told, I often cut my scripts up and put my lines around the set to help me. My favorite hiding places were stuffed in the many flower arrangements on the sets of Charmed Lives, the TV soap opera I was on. Apparently, the daytime soap viewers loved the rich, opulent-looking sets on the show, and flowers were a big part of that. I also liked to slide bits of my script and lines under the placemats during restaurant and family dinner scenes. The show sent a car for us actors, and the driver stopped in front of an apartment building where another co-star, Cecily Taylor, was waiting. Cecily was new to the show and still in school as well. She got in the car, smoothing her wind-tousled long dark hair. "Hey, Valeria, brought you a coffee. Coconut milk with 1 pump of vanilla, right?" I thanked her as I took the cup. She pulled out her script and said she had her scenes with Lance as well as the show's matriarch, Catherine Talmadge, played by the legendary actress Gloria Cole. Wait, Cecily had a scene with Lance too? Was the show planning on splitting Lance and Chandler up? But how could I ask for that? I thought it over as I pulled my long blonde hair into a ponytail. It was early in the morning and my brain was too foggy to come up with something clever. Instead, I just went for it. Are you going to be a possible love interest for Lance? I hoped it wasn't obvious what I was really asking. Cecily shook her head. No, but my boyfriend isn't crazy about me having so many scenes with the show's hottie, though. She rolled her eyes and laughed. Boyfriend? My shoulders relaxed. How long have you been together? Her dark brown eyes lit up as she smiled. Several months. We broke up briefly, but he's my person, you know? No, I didn't know. Seeing as my relationship started as massive crushes, went into 2 weeks of bliss and thinking there was a future, and then ended in tears and awkwardness. I had only been in actual love once. Cecily took a sip of her coffee. My boyfriend's gone for work a lot, so we do video chats and messages whenever we can, and he calls all the time to stay in touch. Wow. Lance lived a couple blocks away from me, and trying to get him to do a video chat was like nailing gelatin to the wall. What does your boyfriend do? I wondered why he was gone all the time. She blushed. He's a singer. My eyebrows went up. Anyone I'd know? She paused and I added, I can keep a secret, but it's cool if you don't want to say. Haley once went straight to a blogger when I went out with Lance, so I get it. I remembered my mom questioned if Haley had hoped I'd get fired for seeing him, which would leave him all hers. Jerk. Cecily bit her lip. Well, no one on the show knows this, and only 2 of my friends know. I nodded. It's Andrew Holiday. We met when I had a small part in one of his music videos. My mouth dropped open. Well, that would save me some time searching his dating history online. Andrew was a bit of an enigma as he kept his personal life very private. I realized Cecily was waiting for me to say something. I cleared my throat, hoping she couldn't tell from my face that I had just been fantasizing about dating him 10 seconds before she got in the car. He's so talented. I hope she couldn't see how jealous I was, although he was probably a lot to deal with, seeing as he made a career out of talking about his relationships. Late night chats were great, but I would be nervous all the time that anything I said or did would be used as material for a song. Has he written about you? You don't have to tell me song titles, but I think it'd be romantic having your own song. She shook her head, laughing. Nothing that's been on the radio. I let out a breath. Oh, so jealous. It seems sweet, unlike my ex. I rolled my eyes. Cecily winked, admitting she'd read about that. Is it awkward having to work together now? I paused. Cecily seems like a nice girl, but we'd only just met a couple weeks ago when she started on the show. I didn't want to risk career security by saying anything to jeopardize my job. It's not fun, but we're all professionals. However, I think I'll look offset for the next possible boyfriend. She gave a slow whistle. Wow, you are way more mature than me. I'm impressed. I guess you're used to this whole TV star lifestyle, though. I wonder if I'll ever get used to it. Little did she know I spent so much time pretending that it didn't bother me that Lance had broken up with me and then turned around to date our co-star and my friend. It was like the show should submit my behind-the-scenes acting like I was fine for the award show highlight reels. It was exhausting pretending to be fine with being publicly dumped for your friend and then having to see them together all the time on the set. But I had worked too hard to get on the show. I didn't want my broken heart or their disloyalty to risk anything that could get me booted off the show. Instead, I walked around saying, no biggie, it was just a casual thing, anyone who asked. No one needed to know I cried in bed at night listening to sad breakup songs by Andrew Holiday. He understood what it was like to get your heart stepped on. Andrew had been there. He was the real deal. Is Andrew anything like he comes across online? Cecily nodded. Yeah, definitely what you see is what you get. He's the most thoughtful guy. He seems so much older than the guys I go to school with. I bit my lip. Guess it depends. My high school boyfriend was mature. Davis was really considerate, too. She cocked her head to the side. Oh, what happened with you guys? As if I didn't ruminate over that question. I shifted, and she slapped her hand over her mouth. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to pry. She started to say she was okay when the driver turned around. There's some sort of accident up ahead. Don't think we're moving for a bit. I turned to her. What time do you have to be in hair and makeup? I have 45 minutes, so I'm okay. You? About a half hour. Later, I'm scheduled to do an interview with soap opera hotties. Me too. Can't wait. Cecily clapped her hands together. I raised my eyebrows. This was all fun and new to her. Me, I was already jaded, seeing as I had once done an interview where they took a quote out of context, making it look like Haley and I were fighting on set over Lance. Meanwhile, I had gone to great lengths to stuff all my feelings down so I wouldn't get a bad reputation and get fired. Did I yell and scream on set? No. Did I push my emotions down until I started getting random stomach issues and could no longer tolerate certain foods that I used to be able to eat with reckless abandon? Yes. Cecily hugged herself. I can't believe people care about our lives enough to want to interview us. This has got to be the best job ever. Yeah, if strangers reading all the intimate details of your personal life and then coming over to your social media to troll you over those very details was exciting to you, then I couldn't recommend this enough. But promotion was a part of this business, and the studio was in charge, so I went along with it. I loved acting, and growing up, I thought it'd be amazing to have my name and face everywhere. Until it wasn't. And all I wanted to do was hide and turn my socials private. The driver sighed. Think we're going to be here for a while. No one's moving. I leaned forward and made a face. It's not that far. Might be faster if we walked. Cecily nodded, and we thanked the driver and got out of the car. It was windier than either of us expected, and I pulled my winter coat tighter around me. We hurried over to the sidewalk and ducked under the awning of the apartment building to get our bearings. Did not expect the wind tunnel, and, whoa, there's a guy who is zeroed in on you walking this way. Cecily grabbed my arm. And he is cute. Light brown hair, tall, and he can't take his eyes off you. I glanced around to see who she was talking about when my eyes fixed on him. There, staring at me like there was no one else in the world, was my ex-boyfriend. My mouth dropped open as he gave me a hesitant smile. What was Davis doing in New York City?